What's going on? This is Will from Never Behind. Today we are going to talk about something a little bit different than my normal topics. I'm not going to talk about digital currency or the invasion of the West, any of that stuff. The next fucking travesty that they're going to try to push on as a actual event to scare the masses into giving up more freedom. I'm not going to talk about that. But the topic absolutely has everything to do with the state of freedom that we do experience today. Relationships between men and women and the lack thereof. Because without solid, foundationally strong relationships between men and women, human freedom is not an option. It's not even on the table. Because all you'll have is atomized, individualistic, self-centered, materialistic people on either side, men and women, all they think about is their creature comforts. And me. My fucking shiny car, my vacation, my sports league, my fantasy football league, happy hour, whatever it is, they're going to be individually focused on just achieving the most comfort for themselves possible. And so the concept of human freedom and honoring the past and honoring our ancestors and living in a way that fucking makes sure that future unborn generations of humanity understands what it means to be free is not even in the mindset of such people. And that's where we are right now. Because the propaganda and the mind control and the programming that has taken place through years and years of television sitcoms, music, and now you have social media, which has just ramped it up even more. During the COVID years, it really accelerated. Men and women don't even like each other anymore for the most part. There's a disdain on either side. There's a hatred, almost a hatred, a palpable hatred you can feel when you hear the way these women talk about men. I don't need a man, I'm better off with a man. Men don't provide any value, men are useless, we can use men and keep moving. Boss babe mentality, all of that. And it's ridiculous because the same women that are claiming to be happier without men and saying that they don't need men, they're also popping antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds. They have one neuroses after another, all kinds of mental health issues. Obesity is skyrocketing. Just the overall appearance, the outside appearance, which reflects the inside, is awful, is abysmal. They are uglifying themselves on purpose as an act of rebellion with the straight across bangs and the crayon colored hair and the septum piercings. Oh my God, the septum piercings. There's never been a worse trend ever pushed on women that's been accepted than the septum piercing. It's objectively hideous. I've never heard a man, not a single one, except a man that actually has a septum piercing, and he has lost himself, with the man bun and the tight jean and the super skinny tight jeans and all of this. If they wear a septum piercing, sure, they don't mind it if women do. But I've never once heard a man say that, oh man, that looks really good. It really enhances your whatever, right? It's objectively hideous. You look like a farm animal. You're not proving a point. The only thing that says about a woman is that I can't think for myself. I follow trends, and I've been successfully brainwashed to believe that fucking looking like a farm animal is attractive. And the crayon-colored hair and the god-awful tattoos, and it's awful. Not to say all tattoos are bad. I have tattoos. I kind of wish I didn't. I wish I could go back and maybe I wouldn't get as many as I have. But not to say that tattoos are bad. And then on the other side, with men, you have performative masculinity everywhere. You have younger and younger men hopping on steroids, PEDs, in order to get as big as they can to garner attention and to what? Get a fucking Gymshark sponsorship? I don't know. But it's destroying their organs, it's destroying their skin, it's messing with their mental health. When you have, people on trend and all this shit that are raging out and treating people like shit and feeling rage all the time, and they're doing it for what? To look good on social media? To get a Gymshark sponsorship? To get girls to look at them? Because all relationships now are just surface. And so if girls think that, they confuse and they conflate muscles with masculinity. They conflate height with masculinity. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. But since time out of mind, that's what they have in their mind. Oh, that's a masculine man. A masculine man is someone that understands who he is. He understands how he thinks and how he acts and why he behaves the way he does. A masculine man cares about human freedom. You know, in my life, I'm 41 years old, and I've been taking in this information since 9/11. Ever since I watched Zeitgeist, it's just been a never-ending, day after day thought on my mind of what's taking place with humanity, with all the different topics I've gone down, all the different rabbit holes, all of it. Learning as much as I've learned. The thought of human freedom and the lack thereof is on my mind every fucking day, because I see humanity devolving, and it breaks my heart, because I want all of us to experience freedom, because without freedom there is no innovation, creativity, there is no evolution of consciousness. We have no connection to God if we're not free, right? We can't. How can we? God, the whole idea is to experience, is to grow in consciousness, and if we're allowing ourselves to be enslaved just by being apathetic and willingly ignorant, what does that say about our respect and our honor for not only our ancestors and future unborn generations, but for the hand of creation? We're meant to be free. We're free, sovereign, spiritual beings. We're not fucking meant to be slaves, and we just accept it. But in my 41 years on this earth, I cannot recall another person in conversation mentioning the phrase human freedom to me. That's how fucking lost we are. I see a lot of 1776 bumper stickers. I see a lot of "Don't Tread on Me" bumper stickers. They can't even tell you who made that flag, or where, anything about the flag, but they sure as hell have it. And a lot of them will have don't tread on me. These men, these performative masculine men, will have "Don't tread on me" right next to a Blue Lives Matter sticker. And the contradiction there is so blatant, I don't think I need to explain it. But suffice it to say, you can't support the very people that enslave you while saying, "Don't tread on my rights." It's fucking ridiculous. And when you have such a contradiction in here, the only thing you can create externally is chaos. And that's what we have on the male side. We have performative masculinity. You have all these males growing their mustaches, looking exactly the same, getting the mullet style haircut, shaving it on the side and long in the back a little bit. It's no different than the female side. This isn't a blatant statement. Not all men and women are lost. There are a lot that still are on that center path, that can still see what's going on either side. Unfortunately, a lot of those still think that the state is a good idea and that government isn't violence and that Trump cares about them and all this horse shit. They're still lost in that regard. But at least they want to have a healthy relationship with the opposite sex. At least they still want to do that. But when you go down that route, you can't even have an opinion in this day and age, because if a woman hears that you are a quote-unquote conservative, she's done with you. She's done with you. And if a man hears that you are liberal or you vote left, he's done with you. You might have very similar hearts. You might have similar dispositions underneath all the surface bullshit that you are currently programmed with. You could have been a match made in fucking heaven, but it never gets to that point because we have become so divided based on things that aren't even true. And that's the most difficult part about all of this, is that this shit's not true. It's not reality. Politics is the absence of psychology. A mentally well-balanced, psychologically strong, spiritually sovereign human being understands that there's no such thing as man-made authority. They understand that this world is governed by natural law. They understand that they have a direct connection to God in the hand of creation, that there is no man-made authority, whether it's a priest, a mom, a fucking rabbi, doesn't matter. Whether it's a politician or a police officer, get real. Whether it's an allopathic doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is, whatever these perceived authorities that we give people, judges, where they can just fucking wave their gavel and do what they want to fucking do, the way they do things. And this horrible goddamn court system that we have, this injustice that we just deal with on a regular basis, thinking that, oh yeah, this is the way it should be. This is the best we could do as human beings. We have all these man-made laws that are different state by state. It's just such a it's ridiculous. But anyway, we're so divided by the things that aren't even real. And the only way to get to the real, to get to reality, is by being by yourself for a while. No phones, no fucking distractions, no iPods, no CD players, no cassette players, whatever decade you want to be in. You have to be by yourself. whether that's at home or in nature, preferably in nature, for a while, and just think. And you got to ask the question, how much of me is me? How much of my worldview is my own? How much have I taken from my family, from my friends, from my culture, from my grandpa, from my grandma, from my teachers, from my fucking society at large? How much of it is actually mine? And how much have I questioned to see if it actually is in alignment with reality? Our historical timeline is complete and utter nonsense. It takes but 5 minutes to do a little bit of research to realize that, holy shit, well, what we were all taught can't be true, because this architecture is here and the same architecture is over here, and there was no power tools, there's no electricity back then, there was no dump trucks, there's no cranes, there's no way they could have fucking built this with what they said was available at the time. And then you realize that, right? You have to question things in order to live in reality, because if you don't live in reality, you have beliefs, and if you have beliefs, you don't know the truth, and if you don't know the fucking truth, you're led blindly to the slaughter, which is what fucking humanity is doing right now. We are literally eradicating ourselves through willing ignorance and apathy. And it's on both sides. And to have a strong relationship with another human being of the opposite sex, because as you know, there are only two sexes. We don't talk about genders because that's a bullshit word that they use to do all the things they're doing right now to confuse children. You know, there's never been a child in history that thought they were born in the wrong body, right? Until a fucking creepy adult, told them that, hey, maybe you're a girl, maybe you're a boy. No. Anyway, that's an awesome little meme that I saw this morning, and it's fucking true. But anyway, the two sexes have to both be working on themselves. They have to care about their spirit, their psychology, and human freedom at large. Because here's a red flag for you, ladies. If the man you're talking to never mentions his ancestors, never mentions them, never talks about them, never praises them, never talks about uses the word fucking gratitude, I would run in the opposite direction, because that's not a man that I would say is going to be a masculine provider, protector for you. He's going to care about himself, his immediate gratification, which, yeah, you might benefit from that, but that's not an honorable man. Run the opposite direction. Find a man with character. Find a woman with character. They're out there. They are out there. But we have become so divided and so just the hatred for each side it's palpable. You have men, MGTOW, men going their own way. You have the red pill community. Don't mess with women, just worry about your own self. And all they fucking talk about is money. Get your money right, get your career right. Don't worry about women, they'll destroy you. When you leave this realm, your fucking money stays here. Doesn't matter how much you make. Your house stays here, your car stays here. But building your spirit, facing your shadow, building a bond with another human being, that goes with you. That knowledge goes with you. If all you care about is going to the gym and building your savings up, what is that? Yes, going to the gym is admirable. Fitness is a huge part of my life. I will never, ever knock that. I don't think people do it for the right reasons today. I think most of them are doing it because of the way Instagram has programmed them. And so you have the PEDs on one side and you have the women all doing the same exact exercise routine on the other side. And it's ridiculous. But if that's all you care about is your outside appearance, meaning your bank account, your car, your house, your vacations, and if you have a nice physique, you're missing the whole fucking point of being a human being. Being implies becoming. So what are you becoming? Are you just some consumer? Is that what you are on both sides? Is that all we do is just consume and die? Or do you actually grow? Do you fucking listen to your spirit and you realize that, holy shit, I can actually create things. I've been given the gift of creation. You can think of something and create it. Whether it's writing, whether it's music, whether it's sculpture, whether it's woodwork, whether it's a business, whether it's a novel, whatever the fuck it is, you have the gift of creation. And if you don't use that, you're not actually accessing your full spirit. Otto Rank, Michael Tessarion used to talk about this, and he's someone that, all of us, whoever goes down this road, owes a great deal of gratitude and respect for. Although I don't agree with a lot of the new shit. He became a Trump supporter, which, with his level of knowledge and information, it blows my fucking mind, and it makes me so sad to realize that he did that he's gone down that route of supporting somebody that is so obviously, one, not who he says he is, two, does not give a flying fuck about America or the people of this country. He serves Israel and Israel only. And he's not who he says he is. He's part of the club. He's part of the pedophile club, the pedophilic club. You don't get to be that high up if you're not part of their old religion. And he fucking knows that. And he knows that the number one currency for these people is children. He knows it. So to think that he became a Trump supporter is very devastatingly sad for people that learn so much from him. But anyway, besides the point, he used to talk about Otto Rank, who was an amazing psychologist. And he would, when his clients would come to him, he would ask them, what are you creating? And if they said nothing, he'd send them on their way. Go create something and come back to me. Because he knew the importance of using that part of your mind, that part of your spirit, how it opens things up. Even if you're making videos, even if you make a YouTube channel or a Pinterest page or whatever it is, just to be creative and do your own thing, that's being creative. But men and women on both sides, they're all surface level. I mean, look at the state of humanity right now. Look at on both sides. You do have the fitness culture on both sides. That has grown a little bit because of Instagram and TikTok and stuff, but it's all performative. It's not to honor their spirit and the vessel that's carrying their spirit. It's more of a vanity that's taking place. But regardless, the end result is still good as long as they're not using the PEDs. It's still a good end result that they're taking care of their bodies. That's good. But that's a small percentage compared to the rest of the world that is overweight, out of shape, chronically ill, chronically dependent on pills. It's fucking devastating what's happened to humanity. I was at the gas station this morning, and it's a gas station that offers a lot of food as well on one side. Hot dogs, fucking taquitos, nachos, all that shit, right? And the dad, big dude, 6'4", 6'5", whatever, but very overweight. Mom, very overweight. They had about a 10-year-old son with them. You know what the son was eating at fucking bright first breakfast, first meal of the day? Huge thing of fucking loaded up nachos. That's what they were eating. All three were overweight. All three were out of shape. And that is the state of humanity. That is a picture perfect state of America for sure. But don't get on your fucking high horse, Europeans, because you're getting overweight. You're joining the crowd over there. Look at London. Look at England. They're becoming overweight as well. I lived in Asia for 4 years. What obesity was never there. It never used to be there. It's part of it. They actually shame it. But now, when I was there each year, more and more of the students were becoming chubby and obese and husky, because it's becoming the norm. It's becoming the norm on both sides for men and women. It's devastatingly sad to see, and especially with overweight men, because they are the most invisible people on the planet. An overweight male and an overweight woman, they're invisible to the opposite sex, and I can't imagine the pain that feels to be invisible to the other half of what you're living in this realm with. And so you get two overweight people that will get together, but then they just keep each other down. It's crabs in a bucket. Very rarely will they motivate each other to lose weight and get healthy. If one starts to do it and the other doesn't, then the relationship ends. But usually they'll just stay overweight together, and it's sad. It's fucking devastating. Foundational interests and passions and truisms have to be shared between men and women for a relationship to work. You have to both care about things that matter more than, I like to travel, I like football. These things don't fucking matter. If you've been to 57 countries and your passport weighs 2 pounds from all the ink, no one gives a shit. No one cares. It doesn't say anything about you as a person other than you like to explore. But it doesn't say anything about your spirit, your heart, what kind of person you are. Because I lived abroad and traveled all over the place over on that side of the world. And I met all the same people. All the Westerners that were there were the same lost people that are here in the US. They still voted. They still cared about the same bullshit. They still followed the same trends. Just because they were traveling didn't mean they were any different than the people that don't travel. Yeah, they're more quote-unquote open-minded, but that's not always a good thing, because they'll push all the woke bullshit, all the femininity of men, toxic masculinity, right? And that women shouldn't be oppressed, or the patriarchy, right? All this fucking horse shit. I'm going to talk about something for a second. Women need to understand that they have you have all of the power in the world. Why do I say that? You get to decide who has a family. You get to decide who gets to experience the sexual act. You get to decide if a man will ever have a son or a daughter. You decide what direction society goes by the men that you allow to experience what we're here to experience, which is relationship. So if your standards are only accepting moral, strong, freedom-loving men, our world would change in a fucking instant. But because of the programming, because of the mind control, women are okay. A lot of Western women now, and especially the younger girls, are staying away from their own type, their own kind, European men, and they're going to the complete opposite side and going to the urban, to the hood. And they think it's going to work out when all the data in the world tells you it doesn't work out. Divorce rate, abuse, domestic abuse, rape, murder of black men on white women, that crime data alone should tell you this is a terrible fucking idea. It doesn't work. And no matter how many people try to warn the women and their families that do this, they don't listen because they are programmed and they think that their choice, he's not like all those other people that are doing all these crimes. Because the data's out there. The vast majority of horrific crimes in this country are committed by a certain small demographic. And that's who these women of the modern Western civilization are falling for. And if they're not falling for actual black men, they're falling for white dudes that are all into that idea. The ghetto horrific rap, the hood culture, the degenerate fucking behavior. And they think it's okay. I'm young. He's cool. He's sexy. He knows how to make love well. He knows how to have sex well. I don't need, when I'm in my 30s and 35, I'll find a good man. It doesn't fucking work that way. And all of the videos coming out over the past couple of years of women crying in their cars or crying in their apartments about they can't find a good man, where are all the good men? They don't want anything to do with you. Why? Because you have given yourself away to the worst people on earth. And you think a good man's going to be there to catch you as you've been ran through by the most degenerate, horrific behavior men on the planet that destroy everywhere that they go? That behavior, that ghetto hood fucking disgusting behavior, and you think that a good man's going to come and save you? You're out of your fucking mind. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't have to be a ghetto black dude. It can be a ghetto white dude or a ghetto Hispanic. It doesn't matter. But when you go down that route and you think that a good man is waiting for you on the other end somewhere, you're out of your fucking mind. But then they blame men, and then they get bitter, and then their body count grows and grows and grows, and their ability to have a healthy relationship disappears, and then they have multiple kids from multiple men or no kids at all, and their bitterness is out of control, and then they take it out on society. They take it out on society. When I was young, I'm not that old, born in 1984, in the 80s and the 90s, when I was in high school, it didn't exist. It simply didn't exist because the cultures are too different, because the personalities, the DNA, the history, the race memories are too different. The dispositions, the inherent dispositions are too different. This has nothing to do with fucking skin color. And if people could get that out of their minds, they would realize that there's something much deeper here going on, that every race is different, and that's okay. And there's not a lot of compatibility between European DNA and ancestry and culture and belief and African. It's just a simple fact, and it's okay. And the fact that these women aren't looking at this and they're just keep going down this path. I know so many in my own circle or extended circle that have gone down this path, and now they're single moms. Now they're single in general, or they've been beaten, or whatever it is. It's every fucking time. It's 9.99 out of 10. Every fucking time it's the same story. So why are the women not waking up from this? But anyway, just to stay on topic here. You have to have shared values in order to have a strong relationship. And if without relationships actually strengthening and growing, and without men and women coming together, human freedom, your ability to experience life at the fullest extent, will never happen. It's not a possibility. It's simply not a possibility. Because you have to have something greater than yourself to take care of, to want to make proud, to want to protect. That would be your spouse, your children, your extended family, whatever it is. Life is more than just you. You are a culmination of all of your ancestors and the choices that they made, and all of the people that you've learned from, which you must pay it forward. I end every video underneath in the text, and it's on Instagram as a little tagline, same thing, honor the greats by paying it forward. If you don't do that, you're kind of a shitty person, because everything that you have and everything that you are, you've built from learning or disregarding from people in the past. Your disposition is yours. Your spirit is yours. But the things that you've learned about the world, the things that you use every day on a daily basis, this is my favorite thing about the women of the world, of modern world, right? We don't need men. Men are useless, all this shit, right? Everything you use. Your house was built by men. Your phone was built by men. Your roads are made by or created by men. Your infrastructure is maintained by men. All the shit that you've learned, all the deep philosophies, all the greatest thinkers throughout history. Yes, there's women as well, of course. Ayn Rand is one of them. But men have created this world. Men are the reason why your life is comfortable. So to say men are useless and you don't need one, you're fucking delusional, and you've been brainwashed to hate the very people that make your life comfortable. Think about if we lived in a world right now where men truly didn't care at all. Do you think the women would fare well, especially with the invasion of the West taking place? Look what's happening in Europe. And it's a shame that it's still going on, but it's coming here. It's coming to come everywhere. But look at the number of rapes and molestations and beatings and assaults and murders that are taking place there of the women. Look in Sweden, look in Germany, look at the UK, and look how many women have been raped over the past 20 years by men from the Middle East or Africa. Now, that happened even with a semi-ostensibly there in place, it's all fucking bullshit, right? The state. Now imagine if it was a free-for-all. All of the women of the West, if the men truly didn't care, would be raped and enslaved and put into a harem tomorrow. So to say that men are useless and you don't need them, you're just being spiteful and hateful, and it's not helping you, and it's not helping your ability to form a relationship. This is kind of a ramble, but I mean, I'm trying to keep it all in the same fucking circle, right? In the same realm. But there's just so many different talking points with regard to relationships and what's taking place. And it breaks my heart because, like I said, for the past 20 years, all I've cared about is human freedom and wanting people to be free and thinking about it and learning what it means to be a human being and sovereign spirituality and the difference between man's law and natural law and all of these things, right? But people have fallen so far. I have my natural disposition, and when I'm not talking about the shit, is playful and silly. I mean, I work with the youth, so it has to be that way. And one of my favorite things to do is shoot the shit, sit around and shoot the shit, whether it's with strangers or whether it's with people I know, whatever it is. That's one of my favorite things to do. But people have fallen so far, and their opinions are so fucking not based in reality. Having conversations is almost impossible. That's how far it has happened. I've seen people getting written off from job opportunities because they make a joke. Clearly a joke. And because women have become, and men, and fucking men, have become so soft and so fucking beaten down and pussified that even a joke, a clear joke, will have them write somebody off completely, calling them an abusive person or a scary person or a toxic person, whatever fucking word they want to use. But because they've become so soft, they write people off based off a simple joke. And it's fucking pathetic, and it's still going on. I know comedians are trying to take that back by talking about shit again, but it still goes on because the job has been done for a lot of people. Most people, as Carl Jung has said, and I've said in almost every video, Man will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing his soul. So most of the people that have been brainwashed for over the past 10 years, they're never going to come out of it. They're not going to come out of it. Something drastic is going to have to happen, because shadow work and introspection is very hard to do. It is hard work, which is why nobody wants to fucking do it. When I went through it, and I still do it, but when I went through it in the beginning, you know, in the past couple, 20 years, 2 decades, admitting who your family is and how your parents really are, and accepting the shit that went on in your childhood, all that shit, it's fucking devastating. But it has to be done in order for you to move on and become an actual man or an actual woman that lives in reality, that doesn't have contradictions in their mind, that lives in harmony with their thoughts, emotions, and actions, that doesn't support evil in any form or fashion. It's required. It's absolutely required. It's so fucking beautiful today. Golly. No chemtrails, which is, you know, utterly shocking for now. Actually, there might be one down there. But as far as in the immediate, there's no chemtrails. A little bit of snow on the mountains over there, not much. But it's beautiful. Anyway, I don't want to keep this going too long. I've tried to do this video a few times now, and it gets long, and I don't, you know, people's attention span is not exactly what it used to be. So you don't want to lose people, because what's being said, not because I'm saying it, but because the information is important. It's important. If you care about freedom, the idea of men and women overcoming their brainwashing and their programming and their fucking confirmation bias and their echo chambers that they have, it has to happen. It has to happen. And like I said, working with the youth, I'm seeing it, and the teenagers are gone. They're lost. They are so lost. They are accepting this ghetto hood culture that is pushed day in and day out. This is who they are accepting. This is what they're taking in. And I listen, you know, this isn't to be a hypocrite. You know, when we're young, I listened to hip hop. I liked some hip hop. I like good stuff, the actual stuff with lyrics that actually meant something. But there are songs, obviously, that were horrible that we all liked. But today it's ubiquitous. It's not just the music, it's the behavior, it's the clothes, it's who they're choosing to spend their time with. It's terrible. I mean, the state of men and women and the way that they just present themselves to the world. Granted, I'm dressed to go to the gym right now, so I'm wearing a hoodie and I look the way I look because I'm going to do something that requires me to sweat profusely. But going out into public just to present yourself, wearing a decent shirt and having your fucking hair combed and wearing pants or nice shorts and clean, you know, taking care of your fucking shoes or whatever it is you put on your feet. But that's not what we have. Every day I see men and women in fucking pajama pants, wearing fucking Crocs. Golly, and just the obesity and the slobbery, the fucking slob, the obesity and the graphic tees with the fucking horrible things written on them, or their superhero characters or whatever. Like, there's no pride. There's no confidence to be seen anywhere. With the way you see people that present themselves, look at airports, for God's sake. Go to a shopping center. The next time you have to go, just look around and see the fucking mutants that are crawling upon this realm. It's devastating because they have spirits inside. And I care about those spirits because those spirits need to be awakened in order for my spirit to experience fucking freedom. And that is the selfish aspect, but I want all of humanity to experience freedom. But that means the vast majority of us in this realm have to fucking open our eyes. But people don't understand how you look is how you feel. That's not to say that people that dress well and take care of themselves and are very well manicured are also very spiritually in alignment. That's not true. That's not true at all. Of course not. But it's part of it, right? It's how you treat people in public. It's how you carry yourself in public. Look at the posture of men. Look at the posture of women. They're all hunched over and their fucking shoulders are slumped down. They're uglifying themselves on purpose with the septum piercings and the crayon-colored hair. All of this shit, right? It's just abysmal. It's abysmal. And it doesn't have to be this way. It wasn't always this way. Look at pictures of the 50s and the 60s and look how beautiful those women were. God, and they were wearing modest dresses, you know, the ones with the tight little belt around the waist. They had skinny waistlines, and their dresses were long, but those women were sexy as hell. And they were covered up. When you show all of your skin, it's not sexy. You leave nothing to the imagination, and it's fucking trash. No, men will look at it. Don't get me mistaken. Men will look at it all day, but they do not want to take that home to meet mom. No man actually wants that. They will use it. They don't want it. They don't desire it for long term. You look at those women of the 50s, they were beautiful. They were in shape. They dressed modestly in those dresses, the sundresses, just sexy as hell. Man, I long for a time that my spirit wasn't around. Well, I mean, I do believe in reincarnation to a degree for sure, because of the idea of old souls and carrying knowledge with you to new incarnations. Totally different topic, but man, I wish I could have lived in that time rather than today. The way men and women take care of themselves today, it just breaks my heart. The obesity for sure, because I know how bad they feel being obese. I can only imagine how bad they feel. But they keep going on because it's so hard to change that they keep eating their feelings. They keep sitting on their ass. They keep escaping through food and through entertainment. And then they develop a bitterness where they say, I don't give a fuck. I'm beautiful at any size. No, you're not. Obesity is a sign of mental illness because you are self-loathing, because you clearly don't love yourself. How could you love yourself if you allow yourself and your health to be destroyed? You might love yourself to a degree, but you can't fully love yourself because you're destroying your body. You're destroying your heart. You're destroying your cardiovascular system. You're destroying your fucking capillaries. All of it. Your body is struggling to survive because you're fucking overfeeding it. But anyway, like I said, this is already getting long again. It's fine. This topic is just one that it breaks my heart because I know without strong relationships, there is no human freedom. It's just that simple. So if you made it this far, very much appreciated. I don't expect too many people to. And also, I just started reposting videos, and I'm already getting comments like from YouTube putting things on there like, oh, little disclaimers, because the algorithms that they use and the topics that are being discussed, I don't anticipate this this channel growing too much. But like I said, like I've said so many times before, the whole point in of this life is to speak truth against evil and to align yourself with the hand of creation and to not support evil. So just saying these things out loud is very much needed and required for my spirit. So I'm going to keep doing it regardless of how many people see it. But if you made it this far, very much appreciated. Wherever you are, take care of yourself, get outside, move your body, never behind.